what do you do, in all seriousness, if he won't leave office? Well, CNN actually took a look at this issue, and I think it's kind of interesting to see. I mean, there's a few things at play. They'd probably have to give it to Kamala because she's the one who would have the command over the money. But I also think that if they're going to force him out because of the 25th Amendment, they're going to have to force him out altogether, right? She's going to have to become the president. They don't have a choice. And she would seemingly become the candidate because it's going to be kind of hard to overlook her under the circumstances. But it's a real question. Like, what if he says, I'm not going to leave? And that's what he's telling us. And that's what Jill's telling us. If he's really sticking to that and he's not going to leave office, what do they do? CNN took a look at it. I want to watch this together with you.
If President Biden leaves the race, analysts say it would almost certainly have to be his decision to bow out voluntarily.
It's unlikely that if Joe Biden does not step down voluntarily, that there would be a different nominee at the top of the ticket.
If he doesn't voluntarily leave, someone in the Democratic Party could try to replace him by introducing an open nomination process at the Democratic National Convention in August. But that scenario is unlikely. Still, even if the president decides on his own to quit the race, the process for replacing him is uncertain and somewhat messy.
The primaries are over, the caucuses are over. You can't redo the primaries or caucuses. You can't elect new delegates.
If Biden steps aside before the convention, it could turn the convention itself into a free-for-all, or at least make it full of intrigue. Names of replacements would be put forward, and the roughly 3,900 Democratic delegates from across the country would decide who to vote for as the nominee.
Oh, it's up to the delegates. In the end, it's up to them.
President Biden won almost all of those 3,900 delegates in the primaries. But does he have control over who they support if he's out of the race?
It's not like Joe Biden can say, okay, I'm stepping down. All of you delegates that signed on for me have to now support this other candidate. That's not how it works. Those delegates would essentially be free to move in the way they want.
Like the days of old, backroom deals and lobbying could prevail at the convention as potential nominees try to convince the delegates to get behind them. In the end, how many of the 3,900 delegates would a candidate have to win at the convention to get the nomination?
Ultimately, they would have to convince somewhere in the neighborhood of 2,000 plus Democratic delegates to vote for them on a roll call vote.
If no candidate can convince roughly 2,000 delegates to vote for them in the first round, then additional so-called superdelegates, about 700 of them, comprised of party insiders and elected officials, are also allowed to join in the voting. It would all mean a late start for any candidate, including in the money race. If Vice President Kamala Harris won the nomination, she would presumably be able to use Biden's campaign war chest because her name is on all the filings. But any other candidate may have to raise their own money.
Our thanks to Brian Todd for that report.
And our thanks to CNN for that report. In other words, they get 3,900. Those votes have already been pledged to Joe Biden. So if Joe Biden doesn't exit stage left, literally, and somehow give those to Kamala, actually, I think what they're sort of saying is it wouldn't necessarily even automatically go to her. I mean, it would be the easiest solution in that she would get to keep all the money, et cetera. But this is kind of uncharted territory, guys. I mean, they are about to strip away the guy who's top of the ticket, who's the president of the United States right now, and probably do so using this 25th Amendment. And the only option they have effectively is to put Kamala in there. I mean, Trump knows it. Trump knows it, and Trump's loving it, by the way. Again, watch him there on the golf course.
What did I do with the debate the other night?
Oh, amazing.
Kicked that old broken down pile of crap.
Yeah.
It's a bad guy. He just quit, He's quitting the race. Is that right? Yep, I got him out of the race. And that means we have Kamala. I think she's going to be better. She's so bad. She's so pathetic. It's so amazing. It's just so bad. So I just can't imagine. Can you imagine that guy dealing with Putin and the president of China, who's a fierce person? He's a fierce man, a very tough guy. And they see him, they probably can't. But they just announced he's probably quitting. Good. Okay?
Yeah, that's amazing.
Just keep knocking him out, right?
Yeah, he probably is quitting. I think that's probably what's going to come out. I mean, unless he just wows us somehow in this big interview with ABC, I think that the concern is that he's slowly, actually quickly deteriorating. And obviously you can't have the person who's running the free world not be in full mental capacity, not have that entire capacity at his fingertips. A quick shout out, by the way, to 76 Research as we consider everything that's going on right now. A lot of people are really nervous about their future, nervous about the country's future, nervous about investing, etc. I just want to point out that because of the holiday, July 4th, we have a special Independence Day offer for you at 76 Research, or go to 76report.com for just $1 a month. With code word dollar, DOLLAR, just $1 a month. You can get my financial research. I started this company in conjunction with a dear friend, Rob Horton, who's been following stocks, and he's been a fantastic stock picker, running billions of dollars on Wall Street for more than 20 years. And I said, I want to do something where we can really give the best quality, best-in-class research to all of America. Frankly, all of America, because you guys deserve it. You deserve it. You deserve better than what the big banks are trickling down. And by the way, you got to invest, okay? Any which way you slice it, you've got to do this for yourself. I don't care if it's $5 or $10. I realize a week. Try and put aside whatever you can to be able to put in the financial markets. And I'm not saying it's a direct line up, but there are ways to mitigate risk. It's one of the things that we do in our model portfolios. So take a look at those as well, the model portfolios. But subscribe to the 76 Report, 76report.com or 76research.com for just $1. Code word $1 a month. I really want you guys to do that. It's an introductory price because I want to get more people investing. I want you to have control over your future.